Today Games Workshop have revealed the 3 new starter sets for Warhammer 40K. These are going to be the ones that will replace Indomitus, so let's see what we've got. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where we've been covering the news and developments of 9th edition as they've been coming out. As Indomitus was only going to be a limited edition thing, it very much stood to reason that they'd be bringing out actual starter sets, so that people who wanted to start 40k would have something to buy after it's gone. I was really quite interested to see exactly what they would be, and whether or not they would be pretty much the same miniatures in Indomitus. So let's talk about the boxes and what they contain. So as we said, there are 3 of them. The smallest is the Recruit box set, which you can see on the right at the moment, and it seems to be pretty much equivalent to the First Strike box that Games Workshop already sells with Space Marines vs Death Guard. I suspect that this one will be priced really quite low, with a couple of small squads on either side. Then we have the Medium Elite set, which appears to be roughly equivalent to the No Fear set, which again was an excellent deal. And then we have a larger Command set, which seems to be fairly equivalent to Dark Imperium, and again you do get the big rulebook included, but rather than getting extra miniatures when compared with the Elite set, you actually get a whole bunch of terrain instead. So similar, but maybe not quite directly equivalent. They are all Necrons versus Space Marines. I think that was honestly to be expected, but it's good to have confirmation of exactly what the box sets contain. We don't have any confirmed release date or prices for these things yet. Honestly, I'd be expecting them to be at least roughly similar to First Strike, No Fear and Dark Imperium, if not perhaps a little bit more, knowing Games Workshop. Again, seeing as they seem to be looking like they'll be replacing these, if you did want to get your hands on First Strike or No Fear, then it's probably worth trying to do that as soon as possible. I feel they're not going to be around all that much longer. So first up we have the Recruit Edition, where we get a Primaris Lieutenant and 5 Assault Intercessors versus a Necron Royal Warden, 10 Warriors and 5 Scarab Swarms. Miniature wise it's a bit beefier than First Strike. You actually get 2 characters included in this, which you didn't on the previous one, as well as a few more miniatures on the non-Imperial side. Much like First Strike, you get that cardboard gaming mat, and also part of the box doubles as a building, to give you a bit of a funny looking piece of terrain should you want it. There's a paperback recruits manual, which I presume will have some sort of slimmed down rules of the game, and some basic data sheets for the units contained in the box. You also get a fairly generous transfer sheet for the Space Marines, and also some dice and range rulers. It looks like 12 dice and 2 rulers, from this picture at least. I suspect that this will be priced at a little bit more than First Strike was. That was £25 and $40 US, so perhaps something like £30 and $45 or $50. I just feel that you get slightly more miniatures here, as you do get some cool characters as well as the units. If they do choose to price it exactly the same though, then I'm sure everyone will be very happy. Next we have the Elite Edition, and I quite like the way that it's not just a direct expansion of the Recruit Edition. You still get Warriors and Assault Intercessors, but instead of the characters you get a Primaris Captain and a Necron Overlord. I think that this is quite well designed myself, as it means there's actual value to having both sets. The Assault Intercessors and Necron Warriors are kind of units that you wouldn't mind having a few of, I think. So in addition to a Primaris Captain and 5 Assault Intercessors, you also get 3 Outriders in this box. I'm quite pleased that they're included. I think they're going to be very popular, and it's good that they'll be in one of these discount kits, so they'll be cheaply available second hand. Definitely good news for anyone who was wanting to add quite a large number of these to their force. On the Necron side, as well as the Overlord and the 10 Warriors and 3 Scarabs, you also get 3 Scorpec Destroyers and their accompanying Plasma Sight. Again, these guys are pretty much iconic from the new Necron release. We had some of them feature very prominently indeed in that new animated trailer. And again, I'm pretty sure they'll be a popular unit for Necron players to add to their army. Other than that, it seems pretty similar to the Recruit box. Again, you get the cardboard gaming map and box, so it looks like the box set is bigger for this one, so the cardboard box will be bigger as a result. Other than that, you have a paperback Elite manual, a transfer set, and those dice and range rulers as before. I hope that this is priced something similar to No Fear, which is arguably one of the best value boxes that Games Workshop has released in terms of money for the amount of points and models that you get in the set. Finally, the third set is the Command Edition, which is interesting as it's not a direct analogue to Dark Imperium, but instead feels more like an expansion of the Elite Edition if you want some terrain and the big core rulebook. Again, we don't have any actual price on this thing. I expect it to be something around about the same price as Dark Imperium, or again, knowing Games Workshop, possibly slightly more. The actual miniatures that you get on the Space Marine and Necron side are exactly the same as the ones in the Elite set, so if you're purely interested in getting the miniatures for the armies, then the Elite and Recruit sets are going to be the way to go. The big rulebook is no bad thing to have though. You're likely only going to want 1 copy, but if you haven't acquired a 9th edition rulebook yet, then this set has additional value. And I suspect quite a lot of the extra value will also be tied up in that terrain. You seem to get really quite a generous amount, 2 medium-sized ruins and 2 small ruins, then one of those pipelines and a sort of reactor thing that you can see in the centre of the table. I think if you did want to populate a gaming table with a few more terrain pieces, then this could be a very easy pickup, and again it should hopefully mean that those terrain pieces might be going at decent prices second hand. I think there will be people who buy this box for the books and the armies, but aren't so bothered about the terrain. It's also worth noting what isn't there in these boxes, as it very much isn't the entire contents of Indomitus. On the marine side of things, we don't have the Justiciar, Chaplain, Blade Guard, and Ancient, or the Eradicators. I thought it was interesting that all of these guys came from the exact same sprue, a big one in the Indomitus box, so basically that was the one that's going missing both on the Space Marine and Necron side. I certainly expect that these guys will be released separately. It will be weird to have them in the new Space Marine Codex, and then have no way to buy them once Indomitus is gone. On the Necron side of things, we've lost the Scorpec Lord, Plasmancer and Crypto Thralls, and the Canoptech Reanimator. Again, I'm sure that these guys will be released as their individual kits at some point. If you're still on the fence about buying Indomitus, it appears that last chance to order will be very early in the morning UK time, so it is basically order one today if you want one. It is kind of hard to weigh up the value, whether or not it will be worth it. Really, it just depends on how much more you want these extra models, compared with how much you'd like terrain, or just to save a bit of money when you look at these new starter sets. Of course, we don't know the prices of these things yet, but I do suspect that they'll be fairly good value, something in line with the previous edition's box sets. So let me know what you think of these 3 sets down in the comments below. I suspect that both the Recruit and Elite boxes will sell pretty well. They seem to be a very easy way to add certain units to your army should you want them. I feel like a command set, at least for me, would be the sort of thing I'd only think about buying once, just to get some copies of the terrain and the rulebook. If you've enjoyed the little analysis, then feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics, where we'll certainly be keeping the 40k related content coming as 9th edition rolls out. If you've been enjoying my videos recently, I'd just like to mention that I do have a Patreon page, which is down in the video description below. If you have been watching a lot of these videos and would like to help keep them coming, then any support is massively appreciated. It is what allows me to do this full time. The link is down in the video description. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.